Oh no or oh yes? Let's talk Sonos. What is up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Tin Invest. The time is now investing, where I'm your host, Jimmy Bishrat. Today's company, in simple words, they're really good at what they do. Quality comes first for them, and that's exactly why I believe they could be set up for success. Now, in this video, it's not much of a theory or story. It's really me exploiting the company's tremendous quality by using a SWOT analysis. Now, what is a SWOT analysis, you may ask? It's really where you go through and analyze a company's strengths, their weaknesses, their opportunities, and their threats. It's one of the best ways to really dive into a company. It's kind of what I do in all my videos, but I just slightly mask him by calling him things like pros and cons or competition, different stuff like that. Again, guys, my goal in these videos isn't to sell you on a company or convince you that I'm the best stock picker. Rather, I want to do my best to present you guys hours of research that I put in into one easy to follow, entertaining video. I'm trying to find stocks that may be overlooked by Wall Street bets and hopefully act as a starting point for your research. Let me make this as clear as possible. I am not a financial advisor. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's talk Sonos. So if you've heard of Sonos, then you know that they have something to do with speakers, right? And you're right, that's exactly what they do. They're an American developer and manufacturer of audio products. Sonos, since the beginning, they've had the dream and the envisionment of whole home audio. Meaning if you walk in from one room to outside to another room to the kitchen, it's all playing the same music fluid. Everything works cleanly, and that's been their goal. That dream started in 2002, and now fast forward 19 years, it seems as if they're right on track. I remember about 10, maybe even 15 years ago, my uncle got this new high-tech remote control that controlled all the music in his house, and it was awesome. But at the time, whatever he wanted to listen to really needed to be downloaded. And of course, with the company being very, very new, it had its obvious flaws. But now, years later, in the world of streaming music and applications running everything, Sonos has been able to take full advantage of this to fully improve themselves, and the company continues to improve. Apart from being able to offer endless listening options, the company is set to benefit from the new home theater era. I mean, think about it. COVID has shut down everyone's beloved AMCs and has sent everybody home to basically turn their living rooms into a movie theater. And that's made possible with the endless amount of content you're able to stream from your home. And on top of that, with TV quality being as amazing as it is, it makes it even more possible to make your living room into a home theater. The only down part about these TVs is with them being so thin and focused on image, the audio quality is what falls behind. Thus, Sonos comes in. For the person looking for an overall better, not betting. If you're talking about betting, though, I do have an awesome video on Genius Sport. They're the company who is behind making the odds for Vegas. Anyways, that's not what we're talking about today. For the person looking for an overall better listening experience when watching TV, but they're not trying to deal with the costs and confusion of a, so to say, professional system, then Sonos is the perfect answer for them. The company considers its overall target market to be households that make over $75,000. And that makes perfect sense because you got to be able to afford an $800 sound system. Currently, though, Sonos has only touched on about 9% of that demographic. I expect this number to rise because of Sonos' strategic partners such as Costco. Now, the reason I'm saying strategic is because Sonos didn't just pick Costco at random. They chose them for a few reasons. One of those being that the average shopper at Costco's household income is over $95,000. On top of that, Costco's the number 2 retailer in TVs across America. My point being, someone looking for a new TV might also be in the market for a new sound system to pair with it. On top of that, in Sonos' advantage, the shopper at Costco can most likely afford their product. All right, now time for the financials. So with Sonos, their revenue growth has been nothing short of consistent, meaning they've seen 15 straight years of revenue growth, and they expect to see their 16th year in 2021. What that means is each year, let's say if this year they made $100, the year after that they made 110. They made 110 that year, the next year they made 200. What I'm saying is they're making more and more each year. Apart from that, Sonos' gross margin has gone up 5.9% year over year, meaning they're making more money per product sold. Okay, so now time for some more interesting financials. Customer loyalty. A number that blew my mind when I was researching the company was that 92% of the products that were registered in 2005 are still registered today. And I could vouch for this. My uncle, who I mentioned earlier in the video, still has that same system today. What's even crazier is that on average, 61% of Sonos customers have over 4 Sonos products. That's probably why the company sees their customer acquisition price going down so much. In my marketing class that I took last year, I learned that Harley Davidson, Apple, and Clorox were among the highest in customer loyalty and brand awareness. And that's one of the main attributes to those companies being as successful as they are today. So why am I bringing that up? Well, in my time investing and looking into companies, I learned that mostly everything follows a trend. So I'm hoping that in Sonos' case, they follow this trend of turning loyalty into success. All right, now time for the competition. To really compete in this industry, you must focus on a few competitive factors. The first being brand awareness and overall reputation. Luckily for Sonos is they're a reputable name. But the thing about the company is they're a reputable name in sound. Unlike their competitors, like let's say Sony, who's an even more popular name, but for TVs, for cameras, for gaming devices, the list goes on. Some other competitors include Google and Amazon. The thing that makes Amazon and Google speakers so special isn't their whole home connectivity like Sonos. It's really just their AI like Alexa. But the thing is, rather than compete, Sonos made a deal with Amazon to add Alexa to its products. But then again, Sonos isn't just completely sitting out of the voice assistance game. In 2019, they fully acquired Snip's AI voice technology. Snips is the first step towards Sonos' version of Alexa. My guess is it will be focused more on music and audio commands. Like I mentioned earlier, none of the competing companies are really specialized in just audio. The company that does specialize in specifically audio is Bose. But Bose is not liked by many installers. For instance, at my house, we have a guy who we call T-Wolf. Not really sure where that nickname came from, so don't ask. But he comes and does all of our electronics, everything from security and internet to home audio and theater. When we were installing our new system a few years ago, I asked him, "Hey, T-Wolf, why don't we go with the Bose? Aren't they like the best?" He laughed at me, simply putting it that you're paying for the brand name. Okay, enough about the competition. We finally made it to the last part of the video, the pros and cons. So the company, they saw 33% growth in audio content listened to in 2020. Now, this probably is because people were trapped in their homes in 2020, or it could have been because of the endless listening options that Sonos has provided to its customers. Another pro for Sonos is they're nonstop coming up with ways to gain exposure for their products. What I'm referring to is, for instance, the company made a partnership with the outdoor company, the North Face, to promote their new wireless speaker. But the company wasn't stopping there. They even made strategic partnerships to find new ways to incorporate a speaker into regular household items. For instance, they made a deal with IKEA to create a lamp, let's say, with a speaker built into it, or a bookshelf that has a speaker built into it. What they're trying to do is pretty much get their product in every part of your home. That way you can have this all-in-one listening experience. Sonos' software is a pro in and of itself, but they continue to try to make it better. For instance, they're adding features where let's say your iPhone's in your pocket, it'll listen to the speakers to set up different acoustic factors and speaker placement. I don't know, technology stuff. But what I'm getting at is they're constantly coming up with new ways to improve their product and overall listening experience. The thing about this company is their nonstop push for innovation, and you can see this through their overall patent growth. In 2010, Sonos was sitting on about sub 20 patents. Now, as of 2020 or 2021, technically, the company has had over 950 US issued patents. This gives them protection against the stringent competition while also showing the continuous drive for innovation. As for my biggest threats or negative, it really all circles back to the competition. I mean, let's take Amazon for instance. They have the ability to gain exposure in their products by making different deals and bundles. For instance, they can give you a free Amazon Alexa with your purchase of Prime, or let's say like you get Prime Music with your Alexa, different things like that, which basically allows them to get their speaker in your house while subsidizing it with a different product, if that makes sense. Sonos can't really do that because of their limited supplies of product offerings. Well, at least they can't do it on their own. But with the help of other platforms, Sonos has been able to make their speaker offerings look a lot more attractive. For instance, last year Sonos made an agreement with Disney to give customers who purchased their, let's say, their soundbars like the Arc or the Beam, a free 6 months of Disney Plus. In my opinion, this was an amazing move by the company. Disney Plus has seen insane growth over the last year with shows with a cult-like following, such as like, I don't know, The Mandalorian. I'm not a very big Star Wars guy, but don't tell anyone. And it looks as if this freebie offering is working because Sonos saw a 12% uplift in web traffic, and on top of that, 1 in 4 customers redeem the offering. In summary, Sonos has found a way to offer a quality product along with a reliable, easy-to-use software, paired with over 300 different streaming apps such as like Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, Audible. You know what I'm getting at, right? Well, guys, that's all I got for you today. If you enjoyed this video, can you do that thing that all YouTubers ask you to do? I hate asking you to like my videos, but that's what I need you guys to do. So if you don't mind, can you just please like the video? And if you're not already subscribed to my page, I plan on pushing out more great content on different companies that people aren't talking about. So if you could subscribe to my page, that would mean so much. Well, guys, that's all I got for you today. Always remember, the time is now.